All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for The Mandalorian, Season 1, Episode 4. All right. So now that we've left the planet, and we're probably not going back for at least the foreseeable future. An open galaxy awaits our Mandalorian.
Indeed. With probably many bounty hunters on his tail and little baby Yoda.
It really depends on how much on the galactic scale he really matters. Because if the baby, actually really does, have some grand significance in the Empire that remains versus just Werner Herzog's specific operation on that planet, then this could be where it escalates. I would almost guarantee that there's going to be a little bit of breathing room. Like just in the immediate sense of where he goes next, because it's not like they have an easy way to track him or anything.
Well, and either way, he's probably going to assume that he's being followed. But he does need to figure out some new method of basically making a living because he feels expensive.
He just needs to make new contacts, I would say, because Grief Cargo was a guild representative. But it's not like he's the guild. There's many different people that would probably hire bounty hunters.
Sure.
And then, this is always something I've wondered if they're ever going to get into in Star Wars is, are they going to bring up the holonet? Like, are they actually going to go and bring up the Star Wars internet?
Maybe.
So that we can actually see how they, share jobs when it's not on a personal, here's a puck, go do a thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they would canonize that. That might bring up more plot things.
It could.
Yeah. All right, so episode 4, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, then be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Classic episode, for the story that they decided to tell, and very relevant given that the Mandalorian and Yoda, Baby Yoda, where can they call home? They
got to build a crew, man. I'm telling you, they should have recruited her.
Going. They really should have. They really should have. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
She was pretty badass. Yeah. And they never explained exactly how the mom came to be such a good shot and whatnot. Maybe that was just, it wasn't so much as a plot thing, but more of a this is the way you make it so that she is especially attractive to our main character. Like, blah, 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 yeah, cool.
Despite the fact that she is attractive, it's also the thing of the life, the person, the setting, and the fact she knows how to shoot.
Shoot a gun. Oh.
And Lord's like,
why don't you come back to my ship? I got plenty of guns in there. Yeah.
We can do some work together,
Oh, boy.
So we have our classic, go to the village, train them up how to, be useful in order to defend themselves, and then leave right as they defend the one attack, which then, realism sets in. Eventually they get attacked again, and hopefully they've learned how to fish by now, basically, so you don't have to teach them, over
Exactly. Again. Now they won't have any weapons because...
Right.
Mandalorian would have been like, all right, cool, but you know, it took a lot of money to get all 24 of these, so let's come on back and
it might be like 200 credits for a holdout blaster.
I'll leave you 3 for safekeeping. Just
sure. The holdouts, basically.
Right. Yeah.
He's doing 1d4 damage.
Right, or at least just give like a good rifle to the lady because
she's got a good dexterity modifier. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, she'd actually be able to make most of it. But that was the fact that they had the sniper being training on his head as he's like, so yeah.
It was a clever way to have us build tension at a point where the tension had been released, but also have it not be, because it came out of nowhere, have it be extremely relevant in terms of the consequences, but have it be important to the plot.
Yeah.
So you have basically them just get killed off screen. Cool. We were frightened a bit for baby Yoda.
Oh man, if they had actually done that,
But now we know that the plot must go on, and they've also got a formula that could have The Mandalorian as a show run for an eternity.
Yes.
There's really no limit to what they can do now because they've framed it as the baby has tracking fobs that are going against it. And it's a problem.
But the thing is that I love this because Star Wars as a universe is so expansive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going detailed onto a specific place, a specific location, and then going somewhere else and being detailed there, and establishing characters that could be recurring characters.
Oh, definitely.
Now, there's some that probably won't be. You know, the mom and the kid and the family.
Yeah,
and
probably
all that stuff, right?
Probably not. Yeah.
But I don't know if we ever got her name, but this ex-shock trooper, she absolutely could be a recurring character, right?
I would say most definitely she will be.
Exactly.
She was in a lot of the promo material, so it's a little bit obvious.
Yeah, kind of a meta thing there. But because they're not specifically saying this person's joining your crew, this person's joining your crew, it helps develop that feeling of the underbelly of galactic society.
Right.
Not necessarily just in the criminal sense, but just in the people on the outs of the society, on the fringes and stuff that aren't causing crazy big things to happen in the galaxy. Just the regular everyday people that could potentially come in and help out when they might be able to come in and help out.
For sure.
Which is really cool. And the fact that they made it be something of the will you take your helmet off, right? It's and having the sniper be trained on him, like there's the tension aspect, but then there's also the fact that it's getting at the idea of that he can't really ever take his helmet off. Like he kind of can't. Not if he's going to be keeping Baby Yoda around, right? So, but then there's that question of like, well, wouldn't you want to? Because that would be incredible. That would be fantastic. Why wouldn't you? And I thought that was really good as a means of basically getting at the exciting stuff in the show and the badass aspect of him being a Mandalorian, and yet also having that duality of there's literally a sniper trained on him at that very moment, right? And there would be no way of knowing that, but for all intents and purposes, he kind of always will.
Right, except for the fact that he literally takes off his helmet all the time.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, just not in front of another person, and they cleared that up, which is great because yes,
he needs to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no fancy filtration system.
Right. He doesn't have a straw that goes up underneath his helmet or something. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. What I took out of it in a completely different way was that he is always going to be given the illusion that he is, free to be able to, do what he wants and take off his helmet and live his life as long as he's alone.
Right.
But he is living a contradiction by the fact that he is not willing to drop off the baby anywhere.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Which, now, in some instances, he might make an excuse for the baby as he's like, it's a baby, it doesn't really... And then, a little bit later, he starts realizing that it's starting to be able to understand his speech, it's starting to be able to do little things and stuff like that, and he goes, oh, wait a minute. Maybe...
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, maybe I can't make excuses for this here. And what's exciting about that is that his dichotomy of being alone versus what he actually wants, which is to not be alone.
Right. Yep.
Given that he was very much interested in the idea of staying here at the village.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it was something that while he, doesn't think he's, deserves this or is cut out for it or could
really actually settle down.
Because of his promise to his clan and to his code, essentially.
Yep.
He still thought it would be fine enough for the baby, which means it's essentially good enough for him, if not for the bonds he's already placed on himself.
Right. Exactly.
Which is a perfect thing to have to contradict a character's desires. Hey, I want things, but I can't have things because I specifically limit myself from certain things because of what I believe.
Human heart in conflict with itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And I loved, I know it's such a small detail, and again, it's going at another one of those tropes of you could just take off your armor, keep it in a chest somewhere, and only get it out if it becomes an issue.
I've seen that movie.
Yeah. So many times. And I love it. And the idea that it's I could picture that when she said it, and he could too.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
It's like, oh man.
But those are movies, not TV shows.
Right, exactly. And this is the real world. This is Star Wars. Yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
You can't just do that.
Exactly. We've got a little bit of world building this episode. I liked that they immediately contradicted my assumption about the guild in the intro of this episode by saying that when she saw the Mandalorian, she's like, "Oh, I knew immediately that you were guild. Guild, capitalized, guild, the guild.
The Bounty Hunters Guild,
they specifically called it the Bonds Guild in the previous bit there.
Yeah.
So what I think more it is that there's a guild specifically to manage debts of people.
Sure.
So these are the kinds of people that Jabba would talk to.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why Han Solo was so freaked out because,
I will bet 10 to 1 odds that it's run by Hutts. Yeah.
At the top of the top of the top.
Yep.
So Grief essentially was just, like you said, the representative in
he's
the specific area.
Right, yeah. He's the regional manager of that planet.
That specific planet, yeah. And it's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense, for sure. But what's kind of exciting about that is because that's a universal, galactic, multi-planetary guild, that means that, one, the threat is multiplanetary, but two, the reach of it is
you don't escape.
A lot larger than we initially gave it credit for.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. That just means that the world is going to get bigger over time, and the conflict will run in parallel with having the galaxy essentially get bigger.
If we really wanted to test, like, say, the Fobs, for instance, or the reach of this guild, is go to a planet, don't actually touch down in any kind of town or anything. Right, go out in the middle of nowhere,
wait for
where no
week.
one even sees your ship fly in.
Yeah, you'd have to go to, like, Dagobah, though. For
right,
that
exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. Which is kind of like what Jabba said to Han of, I'll put a price on your head so big you won't be able to go near a civilized system.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
That's about where the Mandalorian's at, or close to that point.
Yeah, it's close.
And we'll need to see how it continues to play out to really get that sense.
Right.
I get the feeling by the end of this season, if it's not at that level, it will be.
What's also exciting about that is that in order for the Mandalorian to have any level of closure in this, he has to do one of two things. He has to take the fight to the person who put up the bounty directly.
Yep.
Or he has to get rid of the kid.
Yeah.
And there's no way he's
job.
really going to, I would say, permanently solve either of those solutions anytime soon. So this episode, and what it represents from the story structure, is very small. It's very small. But in terms of the plot for the overarching story structure, it actually set up a near infinite number of seasons of Mandalorian story they could do.
Oh, yeah.
Because of this. So that's exciting. Another thing was the trooper kind of post Empire falling with the second Death Star and understanding of, oh, okay, this is what the New Republic was. The Rebellion had her as a, like, you're a frontline, like, go and get the job done really quietly trooper.
Right.
Effective. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. So the Rebels did some pretty intense, kill missions and stuff like that.
Yes.
Which, what does that sound like they're also kind of parallel marketing for? The Cassian Andor show that they're also, like, prepping to have on Disney Plus. Another rebel out there who went and did kind of down and dirty missions for the Rebellion. I like that. It's a nice little, like, potential thing where we could have her character be in the Cassian Andor show as well.
Oh, sure.
And just kind of build this multi-cinematic universe in the Disney Plus Star Wars stream of things. So I'm on to you, Disney. I see what you're doing. But the other thing was the idea of that, with how quickly it moved from we are soldiers who go and sometimes are just killed, on kill missions. Then we switched to protecting delegates, stopping riots, politics stuff.
Right.
The messy things of running a civilization, a society, if you will.
Right.
And she's like, I didn't sign up for that. Early retirement. Now, do you think that there's a reason why she thought Bond's Guild early retirement. The Mandalorian is obviously after her. Do you think those things are connected?
Well, yeah, because okay, so the idea, right? She's clearly with the guild as well, right? She was probably contracted, as like by the New Republic / rebellion to hunt out these Imperials, and that's why they would just send her in alone, because that's what we pay you to do. So we don't have to use any of our actual manpower and things like that to take care of it, and you're a professional, you'll go in, get the job done, right?
I got the soldier vibe, though. Like, I understand what you're saying,
sure,
but it still made me feel like a soldier vibe.
Okay, I guess maybe I mean I am kind of assuming that because of her talking about being her familiarity with the guild, and the fact that she said like there's only room in this town for the one of us.
Right. I felt like that was more of a thing of where now she's currently maybe with the guild, but back then, because early retirement.
Well, but if she was with the guild, she wouldn't be hiding out here. Unless she was specifically like because what's the point of being in with the guild if you're not going to take jobs? And she's not taking any jobs out here.
Well, right. So I was meaning that whatever she did in the past with the rebels, that was when she was a soldier. If she ever did anything beyond that, I would think more, if anything, the guild kind of people would be so recognizable that she would just go, "Oh, your guild, okay, yeah,
sure, yeah." I mean, yeah, you see a Mandalorian in Beskar Gam, you're probably working with the guild for a lot of money,
right?
Yeah. Well, and what's curious is that because if it's something where she was affiliated with the New Republic, but she was still just basically a contract worker on behalf of the guild, right? Then that would be something where essentially she pissed off the guild potentially by leaving, not the New Republic necessarily. Yeah. If it was something that she was working for the New Republic in like an official sense, right? Then you've got desertion.
Yeah, that's my thing, is that either way, the early retirement bit seemed like code for I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
And
yeah. Very
the way
much so.
she told her reasons for early retirement was she went from being a soldier to being a peacekeeper, riot police kind of person.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which doesn't feel very much like a soldier. It feels more like a police officer.
Yeah, and if anything, it almost like maybe it was something where she had moral quandary with it, but it almost seemed like it was just like, yeah, that's boring. And
yeah, it doesn't. It's
maybe
not what she signed up for.
Right, exactly.
But there is a part later in the episode where he literally calls her a shock trooper for the rebellion.
Right. Well, and the reason for that is because they would send her in with maybe a couple other people by themselves to take out targets.
Right.
Yeah.
I would just think that if he wanted to go into something that was more, maybe more current, I would say. Mm-hmm. Then he would mention any kind of guild association that she would have if that was the case.
Potentially, so yeah. I mean, I suppose maybe it was something where she. Okay, one other possibility, of course, is that she previously worked for the guild. That's how the Alliance found her, and they basically just hired her on. And it's not like she has any requirement to keep working for the guild, right? And then it's just like, okay, yeah, you're working for us now, and it's like, okay,
Okay. I don't think the guild is anyone working for them. It's just specifically it's not an employee situation. It's I come do a thing for
exactly,
you.
Yeah.
We have no attachment to you. You could die and we don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Subcontracted work, basically.
Yeah.
Private contractor.
Extremely.
Yeah.
So then when she's with the rebellion, it would be, I would say it would primarily be a loyalty thing versus I'm here just doing a job.
Right, and that's hence the regularity of it and all that stuff, and that could be then why it became an issue when she left, which is bringing up the whole idea of, oh yeah, in Star Wars, the Rebel Alliance, good guys fighting the Empire, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Then they send her on extermination missions to clean up the extra Imperials.
Clean up after Endor, yeah.
Right, clean up after Endor.
Yeah.
And then, okay, now you're in riot police and things like that and whatnot, and it's like, hold on, this isn't the same gallivanting adventure of across the stars and dealing with the evil, like
it's not even fighting directly against evil
in
the classic fantasy good guy bad guy.
Yeah, we don't have any. Let's have some people and call them stormtroopers because there were stormtroopers in the Nazis, and that's a way to show that these people are bad, right?
Right.
It's just, oh yeah,
we need you to help us manage government.
Right.
Well, that's moral gray area. You get all kinds of stuff going on.
You're
there.
just doing stuff, not the
you're more into maintenance and suppression than you are into
not the high adventure. Take out the super bad guy. Yeah, which now that you think about it, wait, was that person actually that a person? Who knows? Yeah.
Well, yeah. We've got ourselves a new kind of main cast member involved here. I would like this formula to continue, if anything.
I would
have every episode we bring up another kind of important character in the world of the Mandalorian, because he's obviously not going to explore the entire galaxy.
Right.
So having recurring important named characters that we can kind of go back on and give some familiarity to things, so it's not just a Planet of the Week kind of story as he just tries to run from one planet to the next.
And one of the things that I think is worth bringing up here is that in the beginning of the show, we had the first episode, mission, straightforward, you do it, whatever, right? Seemed wrapped up. Oh. And then the next episode, it's, wait, no, complications. It's not quite wrapped up.
Yeah.
Which also involves when, all right, we're on the way back to the ship, then something happens. So
right.
They could do something here. They don't necessarily have to, because they already kind of had the complication with the sniper. But where he leaves the village, but we've established these characters, and we've, brought up the idea of, hey, you could come work with me and whatnot and all that stuff. Oh, but they go their separate ways. But do they have to go their separate ways, or could we have them stick around for a little bit longer?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think since he knows how big this is, I think his next step would be to do what we originally thought he was going to do in the previous episode's discussion, which is now he goes and gets allies, and
really,
because he realizes he can't hide anywhere.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. He's going to need to.
I want classic stuff. I want him to go straight to the huts. Like,
oh, the huts would totally gut him, though, wouldn't they?
Wait, why?
Because
I think we're making a couple assumptions here.
Huts like money, like
yeah. But one, what is he?
Bounty hunter.
He's a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
they're rare.
I
would hire myself out to someone powerful as soon as possible in this type of situation.
Okay, sure.
I'd be like, make me your personal dog.
Yeah.
Pay me well.
Yeah. I'll go and be your personal assassin or something, and you basically just make sure that you give me safe haven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would assume, if anything, the Hutts would probably find it to be a kind of thing of like, you're in our territory, our turf here. Yeah, there's not going to be any bounty hunting here, but we don't take care of you, but we also won't maybe commission anyone to go after you.
Oh,
then also maybe he could do another thing of being like, hey, you realize this is the Empire's bounty, right? You don't like the Empire, do you? Like,
he gets political with them.
Well, no, not political, but just like I wouldn't think you guys would stoop so low as to, work with the Empire. Sure. And they'd be like,
Yeah, he throws some spin on it so that way he shows that it's not in their financial best interest to actually stick with this or whatever, or at least to not like have a finger in each pie kind of a thing.
Yeah. Unless there's another Mandalorian cove, which is like we had to abandon that one. Everyone rendezvous at this place, and this is where we're going to be staying from now on.
Well, either way, he needs to figure out some signal nullifying box or something that he can keep
to put the baby in.
To put the baby in. Otherwise, it's just like he's just constantly aggroing everyone within who knows how far.
It's got to be a local thing.
It probably is something where it's and they mentioned this before. Your armor will attract attention.
That's
right.
True.
Why have that in the recap?
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised at all if it's
he walked into the
place
Emporium,
and immediately it's like okay, I know you're very proud of your Beskar Gam, but like maybe get like a ratty like cloak to sort of throw over it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then someone can be really surprised, come at you with a knife or a gun and shoot and ping! Yeah. They go to punch you, break their wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that little bit where he was getting into the fist fight with the lady, and she punches him, and she's like, that's not some stormtrooper plasteel whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
The gloves were more helpful in that regard, to keeping her from taking any serious damage. But I also liked that she's a strong woman. She actually had some like serious meat packing on her in order to be able to actually dish out that kind of damage.
Yeah, a person where the term shock trooper seems appropriate.
Right.
Not some I use all dexterity and I have 10 hit points. You know?
Right, the kind of person where when you see people do this classic move in TV where it hits them on the head and they actually get killed from it.
Right, exactly.
Like because they've got some kind of studded gloves or what have you, and they just and then their head just kind of crumbles in.
Like her arms were big.
Her arms were huge.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Good stuff. Nice and simple.
Yep.
Looking forward to seeing more of this. Yoda baby.
Just
the most
so
adorable thing this episode.
And
I'm embarrassed that it took us this long to bring it up in the discussion.
Yeah, I know, right?
But there were so many little moments that were so slice of life, silly comedy stuff.
Yep.
Where it was just like, oh my god, he's so adorable.
This is wonderful. I feel like Star Wars is getting close to realizing the anime thing of just like cute things doing cute things, right?
It's true.
You know, so you got little baby Yoda.
That's how you sell toys.
That's how you sell toys.
Disney.
Yeah.
Learning.
Like Disney knows this, right? So, and they're
beginning to believe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was just
literally playing with the kids.
Wonderful.
Like,
oh yeah, to make sure
it was so cute still, but I couldn't help but being like, wow, Disney.
We are brainwashing these little children. They're gonna be like, Mommy, Daddy, I want to be able to play with Baby Yoda too.
Right. The funny thing is that because The Mandalorian as a show doesn't, I would say, have the aesthetic that would attract a very young kids audience, what it actually is they're brainwashing the adults watching by saying, like, look at how much fun these kids are having.
Look at how adorable it is to watch little Johnny play with Yoda.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you guys
that's some next level
that's
stuff
some
right
200
there.
IQ moves there.
Yeah.
But there was the little moment in the beginning where he was like, push a button.
Yeah.
And then the Mandalorian would be like, like kind of undoes what he does on the other side over here. And he's like, press another button. And he's like, like things all start. He's like, hey, don't touch that.
But and he doesn't put him on the floor or something. He puts him on his lap and keeps an arm around him. And it's like right. I love you, little guy. You're adorable, but you're gonna stay right here, and you're not gonna do anything else. But I'm still.
And he starts to lean over again, like.
And then the whole thing of no, you stay here, and we're like, okay, either he's gonna start pressing a lot of buttons he shouldn't on this ship.
He's never been a dad. He's never had a kid.
Oh, I know.
He doesn't know that this is exactly how you don't do things.
The ramp goes down. He's already there.
He's already there.
And it's
like so easy to call too.
Yeah, and I love that because Baby Yoda is so small, like doesn't even come up to his knees.
The camera will be like, you notice it. It's like the camera's above his knee. We have no way of knowing if it wandered off somewhere else or if it's right there just fine.
We have no clue. So, and I love that. Like, that makes me think of Calvin and Hobbes. That makes me think of so many things where it's just oh my God, where did they go? And also, Baby Yoda's perspective. I recognize this boot. I recognize this shiny chrome boot.
Looks up at it. Uh-oh.
Yep.
That's not who I was supposed to be following. Where did they go?
Yeah. From like mid-calf down, you look exactly the same. Yeah.
So you need to get more Beskar on your calves there.
Well, that's actually what's perfect because it's Beskar. It's an identifying characteristic. You know, very few people have Beskar boots. So.
But see, what he's going to have to do eventually is going to have to paint himself like neon yellow with like highlights and stuff, because then poor Baby Yoda is going to be like walking around and suddenly just realize, oh my god, I'm too slow.
Okay,
no. Wait, and he's like literally like right behind the Baby Yoda, and he's like, ah! And then he turns around and he's like blaring like yellow. He's like, I'm right here. Like,
okay,
calm down.
Okay, I got it.
You got it.
His signet will be Baby Yoda.
Just the silhouette of the head,
ears,
and then the little fuzz at the top.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
It'll be like on the backs of those Lego magazine direction things where it had like Yoda looking at the computer. Do you remember those?
But
what?
The Mythosaur skull. If you kind of pull up the horns, it kind of looks like Yoda ears.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, because on the one hand, everyone's going to be following all across the galaxy anyways.
That's true.
So why not own it? Give the double birds to those people that are hunting Baby Yoda while you're doing it. Like, yes, this is a target right here. Come at me. I'm ready for you. That would be awesome.
That would be pretty amazing.
I feel like if this was an actual D&D game, that is exactly what the player would do. It's controlling the Mandalorian.
Beskar backpack.
Hey, no, I'm. Hey,
and you have a little button that makes it go and goes into the back of his head there, and it makes his movement a little bit more restricted. But then he's like completely protected.
I talked
and then you can
about
put the jetpack on the other side of it there, and
like you,
and he like pops open the thing, and the baby's just like
you can say it's a joke. You can say it's a joke and that it wasn't being serious and all that stuff.
But when it happens in season 3,
think about it.
You'll be coming back here being like, they were right.
Well, and especially since apparently Beskar is so much more common because of the inflation of the market, because of the stuff gotten from the Imperials.
I mean, more common than a rare Mandalorian.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
But the idea that like even Grief Karga had the two plates or whatever. Like you know, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Do one more job for the Imperials, and then be like, all right. Got the back.
There were a lot of people talking to me saying like, why don't you guys think that Baby Yoda is going to be turned into a foundling? I'm like, no. You're missing the point of this. He doesn't need to be turned into a foundling because he's already his own child.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's already, that's the point, the thematic part of it. You don't need to like have it be an actual like Mandalorian. But
I will say, I am very much looking forward to the first time that the Mandalorian gives Baby Yoda a blaster to try and show him how to shoot. It probably won't be till like season 6, but it'll be wonderful. Actually, no.
He's gonna figure out how to integrate him into the action economy so that when he takes initiative, Baby Yoda will boost him with a little bit of a a force kind of boon of some kind, and he'll be like, okay, make sure to apply that. Yep. Okay, fantastic. That D6 is very much appreciated.
I just realized just how genius this is.
What?
Disney, you are incredible. I take my hat off.
You've tapped into
to your financial prowess. It's not just that Baby Yoda is marketable. Okay. It's that he's eternally marketable. Because he's 50 years old right now. Even on season 17 of The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda can look basically exactly the same. It is straight up Calvin and Hobbes. He can be 6 years old forever. They don't ever have to change that. Because he could be 120 and barely look any older than he does right now. Think about it.
You're right. You're right. It's true.
Disney has finally cracked the code. Our grandchildren, Caleb, will still be getting Baby Yoda merchandise.
See, the problem I have with that theory is that in terms of the actual monetization method they get for The Mandalorian, it's attached to a streaming service, which means it's not a direct, like, you buy this specifically for The Mandalorian, so therefore the money they have to get back from it has to be really good. And usually these kinds of flagship shows like this are used as flagships for the majority of the time. But once the growth of the streaming service starts to peter out a little bit, which I would assume will happen in 5 to 10 years. Yeah, because it's guaranteed, I would say.
There will come a point.
Where they'll be like, it makes more sense for us to devote to one of these newer, better Star Wars shows.
But by that time, see, the thing is, there's already been this positive association developed with Baby Yoda, and then it's just free merchandising. It just sells itself. Like, Yep.
But y'all, this has been a very manic and fun discussion, but it was an incredible world building and plot opening episode for The Mandalorian here. We are halfway through the first season, which is terrifying to think of because there's been barely anything. Withdrawal will be so real.
They will launch the Yoda baby like puppets and stuff right when the season ends, because we'll be having our withdrawal of Baby Yoda, and we'll need it in our lives.
Way earlier than that.
And then they'll be like,
we're near Christmas, Jacob. We're near Christmas. That's why the Rise of Skywalker is specifically coming near Christmas and stuff.
Disney. You're terrifying and incredible.
It's not like they did it
time.
for The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Well, yeah.
So, what do you think porgs were? So, if you want to see the next episode's reaction right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about Star Wars, The Mandalorian, the EU, all kinds of whatever stuff like that. Like Jacob's book that he wrote that's inspired by Mandalorians.
Indeed, it is a sci-fi novel called Battle Lines, available in both hardback and ebook on Amazon. Link in the description. And there may or may not be a high conflict point that revolves around a sniper trained at a helmeted person's head that the armor is indestructible, and do they take off the helmet or not? But go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.